Good morning, good morning. Good morning. It is so good to see you. It's so good to be here. We're thankful to the great God of heaven, in whom we live, in whose image we are made. We're thankful to Him for blessing us and allowing us to see another day. Daylight saving time has started. God has blessed us. As we think about the time, the season changing, we think about God sustaining us and God allowing us to just continue to see many, many more days, and we're thankful to Him for that. If you're visiting for the first time here at Easthaven Church of Christ, you are an honored guest. We have a number of guests visiting with us on today. We want you to know that we love you, and we appreciate you being here with us, and we don't take your visitation lightly. And we want you to come back and be at any service, any worship service or Bible study or any fellowship activity that we may have here at Easthaven Church of Christ. We hope, trust, and pray that your visit will be a pleasant one, so that you'll come back at the next available time. This morning was read into your hearing Joshua chapter 24, verses 14 and 15. Very familiar passage of scripture where Joshua encourages people to consider God. And he does so based on some information in verses 1 through 13, which we'll get to. But as you think about Joshua 24, verses 14 and 15, and he tells them to choose ye this day whom you will serve. And then Joshua says, and I think it's important for all of us, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. It ought to be every man's responsibility and every man's desire to have the same kind of mindset as did Joshua, that he is going to lead, guide, and direct his house to serve the Lord. Yes. And if a household does not have a head, a husband, or a father, it ought to be every woman's desire to lead and guide and direct her family, her children, her grandchildren, or those in her house to serve the Lord. And so when we think about this, Joshua is saying something that ought to resonate with us. Joshua is saying, choose. Choose ye this day. In other words, when we think about what Joshua is saying, Joshua is reminding us the importance of decisions. So as we think about the importance of decisions and also Joshua's response to the information that he has, this morning as we think about the Bible, what kind of decisions do you make? Because he says, choose ye this day whom ye will serve. Whether the gods that your father served on the other side of the flood, or the God in the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But Joshua says, but me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And so you live every day, and you deal with people, and you see how people act, and you see how people interact. And really, when you think about it, life is really just about decisions, whether big or small. When you think about it, the summation of life is what kind of decisions do you make? Some big, some small, some good, some bad, some neutral. But life really is a summation of the decisions that we make. You know, I'm looking and I'm thinking about this college admissions campaign. And so coming January 17th, I think it is, they're going to have to try for Lori Loughlin and her husband. And you start thinking about all of the people that were involved in this admission scandal. Those people involved made a decision to cheat the system. And when you make a decision, and which we'll see this morning, you have to live with its consequences. But depending on the kind of decision you make, depends on the consequences that are the outcome. I want you to notice, first of all, when you look at life, there's different kinds of decisions. And you see it in the scripture. You got ignorant decisions. You have irrational decisions. And then the best decision that we can tell you to make is you have to make informed decisions. And so as we live every day, you need to consider what type of person I am based on the decision that I make. And what you find out, you realize people are not as intelligent and have as much common sense as you think they have based on the decisions that they make. Because sometimes somebody will make a decision, you say, why in the world would you do that? Yes. Why did you do that? Better yet, what were you thinking? Don't we say that many times after somebody has made a horrible decision or a decision to their detriment? And so this morning, what kind of decisions do you make? First of all, ignorant. Paul, in the New Testament, stresses this word ignorant. He uses it a lot. But Paul use the word in a negative sense. Paul did not want people to be ignorant. He would say in Romans chapter 1 verse number 13, for I will not have you be ignorant, that oftentimes I plan or purpose to come unto you. Right. He tells the church in Rome, I wanted to come to you, but at this time, I don't want you to be ignorant as to why I didn't come the previous time. But I couldn't come. I couldn't make it. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse number 1. For I will not have you be ignorant, brethren, how that all of our fathers passed under the cloud and in the sea. 1 Corinthians 12 and verse number 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, I would not have you to be ignorant.
That's right.
And then in 1 Thessalonians 4 and verse 13, as it relates to death and the subsequent events, Paul says, but I will not have you be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, right, that ye sorrow not as others which have no hope. Paul is saying, don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. The word ignorant in the New Testament means to be misinformed. It means to not know something. And then sometimes the word ignorant means just to be wrong. All right. And it makes sense. That when you misinformed and you don't know all of the evidence or all of the instruction that you had before you to make a decision, guess what you're going to end up being? Wrong, just like two left shoes. And so we need not to make ignorant decisions. And so don't make decisions when you don't have all of the available evidence. Lot did that. Brother Hammond, if you look at Genesis 13, notice how Lot made his decision. And we'll notice the ramifications of his decision. Genesis chapter 13, beginning at verse number 8. Notice now, to be ignorant means to be misinformed, not to know all of the material or the instruction or all the data or the information, or sometimes it just means to be wrong. Here's Lot. Remember now, Lot servants and Abraham's servant got into it.
Yeah.
Genesis 13, 8 beginning, how does that read?
And Abraham said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee.
See, the thing I like about Abraham is what we should all strive to be. Abraham was a peacemaker. Abraham said to Lot, let there be no strife between me and you, between thy herdmen and my herdmen. Abraham says, you know, there is a solution. And believe it or not, in every circumstance, in every predicament, every time something comes up, there is a viable solution. In marriage conflict, there are solutions.
Yes.
Now, what we have to determine in marriage is who's going to be the bigger person.
That's right.
That's what we have to determine in marriage. Because things come up, things arise, things happen, who's going to be the bigger person? And so what else does he say?
Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right.
That's the solution. Abraham said, Lot, do you not realize the whole land before us? If you take the left, I go to the right. If you take the right, I go to the left. It don't matter where you go, Abraham, or Lot. Wherever you go, I'm going to go the opposite direction. You know why? It's enough land out here for both of us. And you know what Abraham was saying anyway? Lot, regardless of where we go, God's still going to bless us. It don't matter which direction you go in. It don't matter which direction I go in. God's still going to bless us. Keep reading.
And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plains of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere. Before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even at the garden of the Lord.
Notice how the Bible describes the plain of Jordan near Sodom and Gomorrah. It was like the Garden of Eden before it was destroyed. Don't that sound like a sales agent trying to sell you on the real estate? I mean, you just lay it over here. It's plush. It's green. I mean, it's green all year round. I mean, it looks just like the Garden of Eden. Here's Lot. Notice what Lot does.
Then Lot chose him all the plains of Jordan.
He chose all the plain of Jordan. Let me ask you a question. What information did Lot have? Other than it was like the Garden of Eden? Nothing. And so many times people make decisions, they don't have a clue. They don't know what's going on. They're not thinking about the ramifications. They're not thinking how this thing going to turn out. They just glad to make a decision. You know why? We make decisions because we're grown. You know what we say? You're 17, 18 years old? I can't wait till I get grown. Wow, you want to make your grown-up decisions. While a grown-up is trying to tell you, you're not ready to make a grown-up decision. Because if you live long enough, we don't even want to make grown-up decisions. I tell Chelsea all the time, boy, I wish I was 14 or 15 years of age. They have no financial responsibility. You can sleep in the bed as long as you want to. I mean, you got to sleep for no reason. But when you get grown, you have grown-up responsibilities, and one of which you have to make crucial decisions. That's why you need critical thinking skills. Keep reading.
And they separated themselves, the one from the other. Aaron dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain.
Cities of the plain. We're going to find out what the cities of the plains are. Go to Genesis 19, verse number 1. Abraham gives Lot two options. You can go this way, and I'll go that way. I go this way, and you can go that way. Lot sees the plains of the cities. Notice what the cities are. Genesis 19, verse number 1.
And there came two angels to Solomon at evening, and Lot sat in the gate.
So now we know what Lot is. He is sitting in the gate in one of the cities of the plain, and one of those cities is Sodom. By the time you finish reading Genesis chapter 19, you know what God has decreed. He has to burn Sodom and Gomorrah because of the homosexuality that's there in Sodom and Gomorrah. Not only that, when they get ready to flee, after God gives them the option to flee and he's going to spare them, what does Lot's wife do? She makes another decision. After God says, don't look back, don't keep looking back, don't look back at what you missed, she looks back at what happened to her. She became a pillar of salt. Jesus says three words in the New Testament, Luke 17:32. Remember Lot's wife. What happened to Lot's wife? She became a pillar of salt. She made the decision. And so when you start thinking about how important decisions are made and how important decisions are in general, you need to understand, don't make ignorant decisions. By the time you keep reading the situation with Lot, and by the time they get out, and his daughter sleep with him, they make them drunk, and they commit incest, it makes you wonder, where did they learn that behavior? Don't tell me, people don't have no influence on you. Where did Lot's daughter learn about drunkenness and incest? What did they live for the majority of their life? Sodom and Gomorrah. You think Lot thought about that when he was looking at them gardens? When he was looking at the vegetation? When he was looking at the trees and the shrubbery? You think he thought about that? It's amazing. They got people down there. It's just amazing. I don't understand that people get married. You mean tell me you're going to marry somebody and you don't even know them? You don't know their family? You don't know their family history? You don't know their medical history? You just going to pick up and leave. They got this show that comes on television. Y'all seen it, 90 Day Fiance. Where people marry people within 90 days after having met them on the internet. Some people in America meet people over in these Muslim countries. Some people in these Muslim countries come to America and vice versa. We're talking about people, these international marriages. After you've only met this person over like, what man, I ain't never seen his fiance. And he gonna marry her. You gonna pick up your life, your livelihood, and go stay in a country with folks you don't know? You gonna do that? Come on. And when you get over there, and it don't work out, and the honey come off the moon, and the thing turns sour, what are you going to do then? You're going to have to come back to them same folk that told you, don't do that. You sure you want to do that? It's amazing how many times people make so many ignorant, uninformed decisions only to have to live with the consequences. So let me remind you this morning, as you live every day, and you are presented with choices, presented with decisions that you have to make. Make sure you go and gather all the information that's available, pertinent to that circumstance before you make a decision. And sometimes you may even have to go home, and listen to me carefully, you might have to go home and pray about it. Amen. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So sometimes we have to pray about important decisions. about our livelihood, about our lives, about our health, about our children, about our welfare, about our well-being. You can't just wake up and say, you know what, I think I'm going to do it like this. Because somebody else did it like that and it worked out like that for them. You can't make your decision like that. You have to be informed. Don't make ignorant decisions. How many people have made ignorant decisions? And I'm calling you ignorant. I'm just saying you made an ignorant decision because you didn't have all the information. You made ignorant decisions in your youth. And you have to live through being a young man or a young woman, middle age, being an older person, and sometimes you got to take them decisions with you to your grave.
Amen. True, brother.
Don't make ignorant decisions. If you need some help, you need some guidance. Talk to people who lived a little while. You know what? You get counsel. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking other people, what would you do in this situation? What do you think about it? And make the best decision possible. Don't go out and make a decision, you know, as they say, half-cocked. Well, you don't know everything. And then you got to live with that consequence, those ramifications all the days of your life. Here's Lot. Wife died. Children know about drunkenness. They commit incest with him. All because of the decision he made based on how the vegetation looked. It's amazing. In the second place, after people make any decisions, sometimes they have all the information. But sometimes they go against sound wisdom and advice and counsel and information. Another decision type that people make are irrational decisions. Irrational decisions are when people go against common sense. When they go against logic and reason. And they think that, you know what, they ought to make a decision just because they can make a decision. Let me show you what I mean. First of all, I want everybody to go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel. Y'all gonna read about this gentleman by the name of Nabal. 1 Samuel 25. 1 Samuel 25. I know what happens. And then we'll notice a couple of passages. 1 Samuel 25, verse number 1. And Samuel died. We all know Samuel, prophet and judge. Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him, and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. And there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel, and the man was very great, a very rich man. And he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal. We'll come back to his name in just a moment. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding. She was a woman of good understanding and a beautiful countenance. I like how it says good understanding first. There's a whole lot of pretty faces walking around here.
That's right.
All right.
Whole lot of attractive faces. But they ain't got nothing up here. Y'all go to school with some of them, don't you? I mean, you know, we talk about women that are attractive and beautiful. I mean, look nice, but don't have a clue. You know, they had that movie Clueless years ago. You know, beautiful women just didn't have a clue. And so she was a woman of good understanding. She had something in her head, and she also looked good. The Bible says, but the man was churlish, her husband, Nathan, he was churlish, and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. That's important because David is of the house of Caleb. Caleb, according to Numbers 13:6, is from the tribe of Judah. Notice what else it says. David's from the tribe of Judah. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. Nabal was a rich man. He was in the wilderness shearing his 3,000 sheep. I mean, that's a lot of sheep for one man. And the Bible said that David sent out 10 young men, and David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel and go to Nabal and greet him in my name. David tells some of his servants, go and greet Nabal in my name. Even in the Old Testament, there were phrases like in my name, by my authority. Notice, now David says, you go and greet Nabal by my authority. And this is what you shall say to Nabal. Thus shall you say to him that liveth in prosperity. David recognizes prosperity. David says, peace be both to thee, and peace be to thy house, and peace be unto all that thou hast. And thou have heard that thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we heard them not. Neither was there aught missing unto them all the while they were in Carmel. So David sends his servants to Nabal and tell Nabal. Now, y'all go and tell Nabal now, when his shearers and his shepherds was in the wilderness, we could have attacked him. We could have stolen all his sheep. But we didn't touch it. Get the picture now. Here's Nabal in the wilderness with his 3,000 sheep, and he got the servants out there, and David and them are surrounding him. If they wanted to, and I mean at this time, David was a fighting man. He was a warrior. If David wanted to, he could have attacked Nabal and took everything Nabal had. But he protected Nabal. So he reminds Nabal that he protected him and his sheep and all of his servants. Notice what else it says. Ask thy young men, and they will show thee. Wherefore let the young men find favor in thine eyes, for we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand, and to thy servant, and to thy son David. You know all David is asking for is hospitality. David is fleeing from Saul. But he encounters Nabal, and he tells Nabal now, he reminds Nabal now, we didn't hurt your sheep, we didn't hurt your shepherds. You know, just give us some things where we can make it out here in the wilderness. We're on the run, we need something to eat, we need something to drink, we need some hospitality demonstrated toward us. I want you to know what happened in verses 9 through 11 when they approached Nabal. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David and ceased. You realize, in verse number 6, David told them to go and speak in his name. You know what they did? They went and spoke in David's name everything David told them to. That's authority. It's just like your mother telling you to go to the store in her name. You got to get everything she asked for. That's what they did. People act like they don't understand what in the name means. Then it says, and Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David? This is Nabal now. Nabal said, who is David? David ain't nobody. He said, who is David and who is the son of Jesse? So this is a shame. You know, we live in a day and age where everybody's shaming folk. Nabal is shaming David. He said, David ain't nobody. You know, Jesse's son, Jesse got 8 sons. And who is David among Jesse's sons? Then he says, there be many servants nowadays that break away from every man from his master. He's disrespecting David. He's saying, David, you ran away from Saul. You ain't nobody. You remember, after David killed Goliath, the women said, David has killed his 10,000s and Saul his thousands. The people know who David is, but Nabal is disrespecting David. Notice what else it says. Nabal says, shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not which they be? What is Nabal doing here? He is making a decision not to help David, the Lord's anointed, and a man after God's own heart. You know what David does. So now, David's men got to go back and tell David what Nabal said. How do you think it's going to play out? So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those said. And notice what David does. And David said unto his men, girds you on every man his sword. Okay. It's about to go down. Put your sword on. And they girded on every man his sword, and David also girded on his sword, and there went after David about 400 men. And 200 of all by the stuff. David had 600 men with him. 200 stayed behind to protect the little stuff they had in the wilderness, and David went with the other 400. But one of the young men told Abigail, thank God for godly wives. Thank God for reasonable wives. Thank God for wives who know more than we know sometimes. Thank God that Nabal had Abigail. Notice what happens. One of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. He talked about her husband. But the men were very good unto us, and we were hurt not. Neither missed we anything as long as we were conversing with them and when we were in the fields. This is one of her husband's men telling it. You know what? David sent some men to your husband. Those men protected us. They watched out for us. They didn't even bother us. Look what happens. They were a wall unto us both by night and day, all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. Notice what she says. Now therefore know and consider what thou wilt do. For evil is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a son of Belial. When you see that phrase in the Old Testament, the son of Belial, he's worthless, he's no good, he's 0 minus 0, no good. She's telling Abigail, your husband is a son of Belial. He is a man who protected us, he watched over us, and your husband wouldn't even demonstrate hospitality. He's such a son of Belial that a man cannot speak to him. You know you're a foolish man, but nobody can speak to you. You know people like that, don't you? Some of you married to people like that, aren't you? It's either their way or the highway. You can't even speak to them. Can't even get a word in edgewise. Know what Abigail does. And Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs and laid them on ass. You know what she did? She did what her husband should have did. The Bible says, and she said unto her servants, go on before me, behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. And it was so as she rode on the ass, and she came down by the covert of the hill, and behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. I want you to know, David's hot.
All right. Oh, yeah.
David's mad.
Oh, yeah.
Now David had said, surely man, have I kept all that this fellow hath in the will. He didn't even call him by name. He said, I'd have kept all this fellow. You know you mad when you start calling people by their God-given name. I'd have kept all that this fellow had, and know what else he says, in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him, and he hath requited me evil for good. David said, you see how good I've been to this man? And he gonna pay me back with evil?
Yes.
David says, so and more also to God and to the enemies of David, if I leave of all that pertains to him by the morning light, any that, excuse my language, that pisseth against the wall. I didn't say that. David said. I'm just repeating what David said. David's mad. David said, I'm gonna kill every man. That's what it means to piss it against the wall. All the men. I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yes.
Why is David so mad and enraged? And fell at his feet. No, excuse me, it says, and when Abigail saw David, she hastened to light off the ass and fell before David on her face and bowed herself to the ground and fell at his feet and said, upon me, my Lord, let me this iniquity be, and let thine handmaid, I pray thee, speak in thine audience and hear the words of thine handmaid. I want you to know what she says now. Look at verse 25. Let not my Lord, I pray thee, regard this man of Belial. This is Abigail talking about her husband. You know, somebody once said, if you really want to know how a person really is, ask those closest to him.
Yeah.
If you want to know how a man really is, talk to his wife. Talk to his children. Ask those who are closest to him, and they'll tell you how he really is. Talk to his wife. Maybe over time, Abigail found out after marrying him, this is a foolish man. Notice what she says. A man of Belial, even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and fool is his game. That's what she said. His name, Nabal, but he's a fool. Here's Nabal, being irrational, not using logic, and judgment, and common sense. Common sense and logic would have told him, here is a man by the name of David that protected all of my sheep, all of my camel, all of my livestock, my family, even me. He protected me. Because somebody else could have came in and attacked Nabal. And all the man is asking for is for you to demonstrate hospitality. And yet it's still Nabal saying, I ain't going to pay David nothing. He was irrational. Don't you know people who make irrational decisions? They go against all wisdom and advice and counsel and information. You know what the Bible calls that individual? A fool. Proverbs 1 verse number 7. What does that say, Brother Hammond? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. You know, many times we think knowledge is just intellectual. You know, you can go read a book. You know, anybody can be knowledgeable.
Right.
Paul talking about in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, you know what, we all have knowledge. You know, we can all go and Google stuff. And later I was watching this game show on Friday. They had this lady call in for this game show, and she could win $20,000 if she could just get the answer right. She didn't have enough sense to Google it. They were telling us, just Google it, look it up. And so we can all go and get stuff off the internet. We all have knowledge, but knowledge is not only intellectual, knowledge is spiritual.
It's true.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But guess what? Fools don't want that.
That's right.
Fools despise wisdom and instruction. A foolish person don't want to hear anything anybody got to say. Doesn't matter if it's sound, sage advice, you don't want to hear that. Look at Proverbs chapter 10, verse number 14. We're talking about fools. Proverbs 10, verse number 14.
Wise men lay up knowledge,
Wise men lay up knowledge.
but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction.
Wise men lay up knowledge. No, not wise men. Well, they go about acquiring knowledge, laying it up, not saying much, not doing a whole lot of things to garner a lot of attention. But a foolish person always talking. Always got to be heard. Always saying something. So he says a fool's mouth near his destruction. A foolish person is always talking, never listening, and never obeying. Look at verse number 21.
The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom.
Fools die because of want wisdom. They don't want wisdom. They lack wisdom. They lack instruction. They lack understanding. They lack comprehension. And then Proverbs chapter 12, what does it say? 12:7.
The way of a fool is right in his own eyes.
A foolish person thinks he always right. Thinks she always right. They know it all. We sometimes say, you don't know it all. You know everything. But the truth of the matter is, not everybody knows everything.
Amen.
We're still learning.
Amen.
We're still growing. We still learn every day, even as adults. So we don't know everything. And then Proverbs chapter 24. What does he say?
Wisdom is too high for a foolish.
Wisdom too high for a foolish person. It's beyond their grasp. It's too high for them. They don't want it. And anytime something is unattainable, unreachable, and we have to exert a little effort to get it, we don't want it. And so for a fool, wisdom is just like that. It's too much for them. So what a person would rather do, they would rather continue to walk around in ignorance, being blind, thinking that, the longer they do it their way, it's going to work out every time. Irrational. You look at that. You never realize, you look at 1 Samuel chapter 38 rather, God killed David. And you know what happened after God killed David? David took Abigail, the wife.
Yeah.
A foolish man. Don't be foolish. Don't be irrational. Don't be unreasonable. Don't be illogical as you make your decisions. Here is Nabal making an irrational decision not to help a man who helped him. And in the end, God